Hello my dear students, I am Jerry Wheeler, your business study teacher for class 12th, and we are studying chapter number 5, organizing, and today we are going towards lecture number 2, in which we are going to learn about organizational structure and its types. So let's start our video. So today we will talk about organizational structure. Now what is structure? Maybe you have seen many times a structure of building. So as we know that without a structure, a building can't stand. In the same way, an organization can't stand in market without a proper structure. Now suppose that I am giving you example. Take example of a school. In a school there are many functions, or you can say many persons, those who are managing, or you can say organizing the activities of a school. First is what? Manager. Who's there? Manager. What managers do? You can say that broad policy making decisions, all these type of decisions are taken by manager. Then come who? Principal. So planning and all the activities are done by principal. Planning, especially planning, is done by principal, that what school function should be, when school function should be there, when the unit test should be there. These all functions are done by principal. Then what comes? Then principal, you can say that the principal will delegate some authority to vice principal also. So then comes vice principal. Okay, and at last who come? Teachers. Who come at last? Teachers. Now at last the principal and vice principal will delegate authorities to teachers so that they can give practical shape to his plans, the plans of management committee, you can say. So this is the structure within which all the activities relating to school are going to be performed. Okay, so in this structure you can see manager, principal, vice principal, teachers, all are there. So they all have you can say divide the work, and then they are applying to the or you can say that they are applying to the practically. Clear? So what is written in the book? When the managers are performing organization function, an organization structure gets created automatically. If you remember that during that organization process, when I have explained you organization process, so which you have learned that under the organization process what we are doing, we are dividing the work. Okay, then we are grouping the activities, and you can see divisions. Then what we are doing, we are assigning the duties. So these all work are done in that time only. On that time only, automatically what happened? The organizational structure created. So it defines the jobs, positions, the authority and the responsibilities of different employees. That employees will be clear that from whom they have to take orders, and that it will be clear that who will be in top level management, it will be clear that who will be in middle level and who will be in supervisory level. Now what is you can say organization structure? They have given one definition: network of jobs, positions, responsibilities and authority at different level, as I told you. Or it can be called as a framework within which managerial and operational tasks are performed. Now that I have talked about two types, that managerial and operational. What is the managerial functions, or you can say managerial tasks? All the tasks related to the framing policies, plan, other things, these are comes under managerial tasks. Then comes operational tasks. These are performed by the employees of the organizations. Okay, so they are the one who is practically implementing the plan of the manager. Okay, so this is called what? Organization structure. Now next point is coming, span of management. So here you have to understand what is the meaning of here span of management. Actually the span of management is divided into two parts, that is you can say narrow and wide. Now narrow span means that that a narrow span will define that in under narrow span we can say that under one manager two workers are there, that one manager will manage two workers, and that two workers will manage other workers, other two, like these two, then one more, it will manage other two, and this will manage other two, like that. Okay, so we can say it is narrow span because under one manager only two workers are there or three workers are there, not more than that. Okay, but if you talk about wide span of management, so it means that under one manager there are, you can say 20 subordinates are there, 20 employees are there, and under those 20 more employees are there, like that. You can see under this one also you can take one or others are there. Okay, so like this you can take more. So this is a wide span of management. Now we can say span of management means how many employees or you can say subordinates can be effectively managed by one manager, or you can say how many subordinates are under one superior. That is called span of management. I hope it is clear to you. Now we will talk about importance of organizational structure. As we have learned that what is organizational structure, and we have learned that it is a framework within which managerial and operational tasks are performed. So all tasks are performed under this only. So it is of very important. So why it is important? So there are some points like structure organize properly all the operations of business, all the activities related to the, you can say, marketing, producing, sales, whatever, these all are organized under the organizational structure. So it organized properly. Then a clear structure makes it easy to check the responsibility of each part of the business. Now it is very clear that from whom we have to take the orders, okay, and it is very clear to the manager that he will check to whom. So it make easy their work. Okay, the subordinates are also very clear that from whom they have to take their orders, and that manager is also clear to whom they have to give orders. Then a clear idea about working style of an enterprise can be known from the organizational structure. If afterwards, after 12th, if you want to apply for CA, when you become chartered accountant, so what you have to do, you have to audit some organizations. So after you can say that reading their organization structure, after checking their organization structure, you will be clear about the working style of the enterprise. So it is the organization structure who clear about the working style of any enterprise. Okay, then comes what, it clearly defines the levels of management. As we have known that already, they have defined the job positions, authorities and responsibility under the structure. So it is very clear that who will perform the working of top levels management, who will perform the middle level functions, and who will perform the lower, or you can say, supervisory level functions. So it clearly defines the levels of management and span of control under each level. Okay, now we will talk about the types of organizational structure. So as we have learned about what is organizational structure, so now we learn about the types. So under organizational structure there are two types, that is functional structure and second one is divisional structure. As our name suggests, is there functional structure. So what is functional structure? Under this, what we are doing, grouping the similar activities belonging to a particular function. Now that function can be what? Production function, that can be sales function, that can be finance function, that can be related to the research and development, and it can be related to the human resource development. So all the jobs, like you can say example that all the jobs which are related to the production are grouped in production department, or you can say all the jobs which are related to the sales are grouped in sales department. So in this way, what we are doing, we are dividing the activities according to the particular function. That is called what? Functional structure. Okay, now take example that suppose an organization is there who is producing what? Soap. What they are producing? Soap. So in that in order to produce that soap, they have to do some activities. Okay, and to do those activities, they have to divide the work into some departments. Like you can see, they are dividing the work, as you can see here, the board of directors, managing director, dividing the work into in this 1, 2, 3, 4 departments, like production departments. So all the activities related to the processing, quality of that soap, and repairing, whatever is comes under the production department. Okay, then comes marketing, that who will market, who advertise that product, okay, that soap. So it will come under marketing department. So under marketing, what we will do, all the activities which are related to the advertising, sales, then customer services and research. Okay, this all comes under marketing department. Okay, then comes what? Finance department, which is related to the money, like capital structure and finance planning, that from where whatever the profit we earn, from that how much part we have to retain, and whatever the decision related to the money, this all comes under the finance department. At last, what comes? Purchase department, because in order to make the soap we need raw materials. So purchase of raw materials, purchase of inputs and record machineries, and record of purchase, these all activities comes under purchase department. So as we have seen, in order to sell our product, that is soap, we have divided the activities into 1, 2, 3, 4 departments: production department, marketing department, finance department and purchase department. So it will help us to do our work properly. So it will provide a proper organizing structure. Okay, so as you can see here, now they're talking about the advantages. What? After applying the, you can see that organization structure, then we are applying what? Functional structure, that in which we are dividing the work according to the function, that they are, if the first some employees, those who are doing the work of production, so according to the production, their function is production. So we have divided all these people, we have put in production department. And those who are you can see busy in sales activity, customer services, so we have put them into marketing, and so on, like this. So what are the advantage of this? What? advantage of functional structure. What are the advantage? After dividing these into these many groups, what we are getting specialization, because when the activities are grouped according to the type of function, then all the activities are related to one type only. So the specialization and professional experts can be hired to supervise those activities. Now each work, now see, if suppose that these all are come under one only, so we are doing the production work also, and the same and some workers who are belonging to sales department, they are also coming under this one. So it will create a chaos, okay, it will create confusion. So that's why when we are separating them, so what happen, it comes what, specialization. So if a person who is from a production department, repair work, he doing the repair work, so it will go to production department, he will not go to marketing department, so it will not create any problem under this work, okay. So it comes specializations. And then second advantage is what, easy supervision. It is easy to supervise people which are related to the different functions. Like if a person is related to the finance, so it will come under the finance department. So I can easily what you can say, that I can easily tell the responsibility of the that person which are related to the finance. And if it is, suppose that if there is no functional department, no functional structure is there, so what happens, it will be very difficult to teach him all the activities, okay. So it is very easy to supervise after the functional structure. Then comes easy coordination, because all the workers which are related to the repair, control, quality and processing are coming under production. Those who are related to the advertising and sales are coming under marketing. Those related to the capital structure are coming under finance. So it create what, good coordination, because they all do work for the production properly, they all do work for the marketing, they all do work for the finance, they all do work for the purchase. So these are working good for their department. In this way they creating what, good coordination, okay. Then comes what, but yes, remember that this interdependence leads to coordination among the different departments, as these all are dependent on each other, okay. Production is done, but after production what we need to marketize that product. After marketize we need what, finance, good finance. And then we need to, after selling the product, again we have to produce that. So what we need, again we need what, raw materials. So these all departments are interdependent, and this only bring the coordination here. Now comes what, it helps in increasing managerial efficiency. How it increases managerial efficiency? Because the manager of one department are performing same type of function. Like a manager is there who's a manager of production department, so he's repeating the same activity again and again. So he is getting what, experience, and with experience he is getting the expertization. So we can say that it increases the managerial efficiency, okay. Then comes what, at last, effective training. It makes training of the employees more easy, as they are trained in limited types of skill. That is, employees of production departments are given training of production techniques only. Let me explain you. Suppose that a person is there who is related to the skill, or you can say who's related to the production. So he is getting the training of production only, not other departments like marketing, finance and other. He don't need to practice, he don't need to get a training of all these three departments. He need only training of production. So he will get skill of this one only. So it makes easy and you can say effective training of these employees. So those who are related to the sales, he will do the training of sales. Those who are related to the finance, they will do the training of finance. And those related to the purchase department, they will do the training related to the purchase department. So it will make their training effective and easy also, okay. Now we will talk about disadvantages of functional structure. What? First one is what, difficulty in achieving organization goal. So let me tell you that when we have divided all the work under different departments, so all the departments workers are working properly. But what happened, actually they focus more on the success of their department rather than the success of the whole organization. They are putting whole attention or whole focus on the particular department of their own. So the department becomes specialized in their own way only. They fail to see the prospectus of whole organizations. So as a result, what happened, the organization's goal cannot be achieved, okay. So it creates difficulty. So this is the first disadvantage of functional structure. Second one is what, decrease in coordination. When the coordination decreases and results in delay of decisions. Why decrease in coordination? Because that there comes what, rivalry in departments. Like those who are working in production departments, they get what you can say, jealous from the persons or workers who get those who are doing work in
marketing department. In the same way, those who are working in different department, they get rivalry between each other. So what happens because of that rivalry? It creates what? Chaos, and you can say confusion, and it creates a competition, or you can say that a rivalry, so that they are not doing the work for each other. So it creates what? Decrease in coordination. Then comes what? Departmental heads attitude. The departmental heads, those who are departmental heads, like he's the department of production, he's the head of you can say production department, he's the head of, you can say that sales department, she is the head of purchase department, she is the head of, you can say what? Finance department. So those who are head of these departments, they are start thinking that they are their this is their own department, so this is their empire, so they can do anything, which leads to conflicts among various departments. So they are fighting with each other, they get rivalry, they are not working with unity. So it creates what? Chaos in the organizations. Then comes difficulty to fix accountability. When the organization's goal is not achieved, then what happens? It becomes very difficult to whom we have to blame. That whether we have to find that there is a lacking in the organizational department, or there is a lacking in the you can say sales department, or you can there is a lacking in the purchase department, or there was a lacking in the finance department. So it is very difficult to find out, okay, because all the departments are interrelated. Because we can say that without production department, marketing department can't do anything, because if production is not there, so which product he will market he will do marketing. So they are interdependent. So it is very difficult to blame if you can say if we got any failure, so to whom we have to blame, which organization. So it becomes very difficult. So that is why written there, it is difficult to fix the accountability. Then come at last what? Inflexibility. Employees get training of only one function, that the employees which are related to the production function, so they are getting training of function only, they are not getting a training of marketing. So it creates what? Inflexibility. That is the departmental to which they belong, so they cannot be shifted to other departments. Why? Because they did not got the training of the other departments. So what creates? It creates inflexibility between the employees. Then comes suitability. Now functional structure is suitable for whom? It is suitable for large organizations are producing one line of products. That functional structure is suitable only for those organizations which are producing what? Member is one. It can come in 1 mark question. Who are producing one line of product only. Like I had just told you that I have given example in starting, that organization who is producing soap only. So those who are working in the production of soap only. So it will be like it is suitable for that type of organization. Organizations which require high degree of functional specialization, okay, with diversified activities, it is suitable for that type of departmental, for that type of activities, okay. Because if that function is a department, if that work is there in which that different type of product we are working, like that group organization is there in which that we are dealing in textile department also, we are dealing in cosmetic products also, and we are dealing in medicines products also, and we are dealing in soaps also. It is very difficult to apply functional organization there, okay. So for that we have to read about, or we have to study about divisional structure. When we are talking about large organizations, you can say where we are producing more than one line of product, okay. So now we will talk about divisional structure. Now divisional structure, when the organization is large, okay, when the organization is large and they are dealing in more than one line of product, okay, that is called what? So that time it is suitable to opt divisional structure, okay. It is written there also, and it is producing more than one type of product, then activities related to one product are grouped under one department. Now all the activities related, like we have learned earlier in functional department, in functional structure, that production department, purchase department, marketing department, and finance department are separate there. But here what happened? They all come under one only, because this all comes under textile department. Then one more product is there, that is cosmetic department. All the activities which are related to the cosmetics. So production, purchase, marketing, finance, these all activities comes under one, that is cosmetic department. Then what comes? Medicine department is also there. So all the activities, all the departments comes under one department, medicine department. Soaps, about which we have talked earlier, production, purchase, marketing, finance, these all comes under soaps department, okay. So what happened? Now all the you can say that all the departments comes under one only, because here we are dealing in more than one product, okay. Textile department also. So now let's learn about the advantages of whom? About divisional structure. So what are the advantage of divisional structure? When we are dividing all the work, all the type of production under the different activities under different departments, now we are dividing all those separate departments under one, like textile department having all the departments, cosmetic department having all the departments like production, purchase, marketing, finance, in the same way medicines also, and soap also. So what are the advantage we are getting by doing this? First one is what? Product specialization. Of course, now when we have learned about the disadvantage of what? Functional structure. So where we have learned that there is a difficulty in the what? Coordination. And what happened, that all the departments are fighting with each other. You can see that they are having conflicts with each other. But when the product is having all the departments under one roof, so what happened? All the activities related to one type of product are grouped under one department only. So which brings what? Integration and coordination in the activity. So it brings coordination only because all the activities which are related to the, you can say, the textile department, so this all comes under one only. So it gives more specializations. Then comes what? Fast decision making. Now when all departments are under one only, that is under that medical department, so what happened? The decision which are related to the production, either it's related to the sales, either it's related to the purchase, either it's related to the marketing, these all decisions we can take fast in compared to functional department. Okay, because here there is a no dependence on each departments, okay, for taking decisions, so we don't need to ask from the other departments. Okay, then comes what? Accountability. Now in this type of structure, the performance of individual department can easily be assessed, regard, you can say evaluated, and you can hold the department accountable for non-accomplish of objectives. Now as we have learned that in the disadvantage of functional department, that it is very difficult to fix the accountability. Why? Because there we can't just, you can say that, blame any one department for a failure of the, you can say that product. But here we can create the accountability. Why? Because the all departments are separate. You can see this one, textile department, cosmetic, under all these things are coming under one only. So we can say that create accountability for this one. Suppose that we are doing the business of all these things, 1, 2, 3, 4, medicines also, soap also, cosmetic also, and textile department also. Suppose that our cosmetic department is not doing the work properly, or you can say that we did not achieve the result which we have planned for, so we can blame this department fully. Okay, here we don't need to check that which one is production, which one is purchase department. These all are these all are working under one department, so we can blame it directly. Okay, so it creates what? It is helpful to create the accountability. Then comes flexibility. It is fast decision making leads to flexibility. Why it is flexibility? Because here we can take decisions fast, so it creates flexibility. And here all departments are doing work under one roof, so all the training which are related to the production, purchase, marketing, finance, these come under this one only. So it creates flexibility to shift the persons also. Then comes expansion and growth. So new departments can be added without disturbing the existing department, because these all are working under one only, so we can add easily. Then comes what? Disadvantage. What are the disadvantage of this department? Which one? Divisional structure. So first one is what? More resources are required. Yes, it is costlier also, or you can say more resources, as we have seen that earlier functional structure, that all the departments are separate. So there we need, for one department we need what? Less resources. But here all departments are doing work for one particular product. So what happens? We need more resources. So each department will require all the resources, as every division will be working as an independent unit. Okay, these are independent, they are not dependent on each other. Then comes what? Product focused department. Each department focuses on their product only, and they fail to keep themselves as a part of the common organization. Now they all are working under one organization. Either it's textile department, either it's cosmetic department, either it's medicine department, either it's source department. They all are working only one department, but they are focusing only on that, like that department, those workers, those who are working under the cosmetic department, they are focusing on the cosmetic work only. The workers, those who are working under textile department, they are focusing on the objective of the textile department. So what happened? They are focusing on their individual department. So it creates what? It will create what? Chaos in the organizations. They will not achieve the whole goal of the organizations. Okay, so it comes under product focus department. This is the disadvantages of divisional structure. Then third one is coming conflict. Definitely it will create conflicts on the allocation of resources, that when we creating budget, So it is very difficult to whom we have to allot more budget, that whole more amount of money, that either it's medicine department, either it's soap department, either it's cosmetic department or textile department. So it can be decided by the performance. Suppose that we are providing more budget to medicine department, so what happens, those who are other departments like cosmetic and textiles, they will be, you can say that, feel neglected. So it creates what conflict between them. Okay, now for whom this divisional structure is suitable? So first one, it is suitable for multi-product or different line of products. Of course, as we are here doing working for multi-product only. Then comes what, organization which requires product specializations. Then it is best for the, it is best for those who are require product specialization. It is best to adopt divisional structure. Then comes what, where requires what, each division to be self-contained, or you can say interdependent. Sorry, not independent but independent. So in that one we need what, divisional structure, because here each department has production, sales, financial department. All departments are there in each one under one structure. Then comes what, growing companies which are planning to add more line of products in future. Like that, you can see that Samsung is there. First Samsung is working under the, you can see they are making fridge. Then they are come under the production of mobile also. Okay, now Samsung are making other electronic also. So we can say that Samsung is the best example of divisional structure, because under Samsung we are Samsung is producing refrigerator also, Samsung is producing, you can say that, TV also, Samsung is producing mobile also, and Samsung are producing other things also. So at the same time they are doing a different, they are producing, you can say that, more lines of product. So it can be, you can say that it is the best example of divisional structure. Okay, so these are what, you can say, type of structure which we have learned today. And the type of structure we have learned about functional structure, and we have learned about divisional structure.
Last, I want to say be safe and God bless you all.